Welcome everyone, join us today as we delve into the life and legacy of Bill Medley, the unforgettable baritone behind the Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Lovin Feelin, Unchained Melody, and I've Had the Time of My Life. So let's dive in. Bill Medley, born William Thomas Medley on the 19th of September 1940, in Santa Ana, California, United States of America. Born into a home where music was simply part of daily life, his parents, Arnold and Irma Medley, led a small swing band. His father played saxophone, while his mother sang and played piano. Church choir and constant exposure to harmony shaped his ear, while records by Ray Charles and Little Richard stirred something deeper, guiding him toward soul and rhythm and blues even before he finished school. Bill attended Santa Ana High School, graduating in 1958. Basketball competed briefly for his interest, but music always came first. By his mid-teens he was already experimenting with songwriting and home recording, driven by a voice that was maturing into a rich, emotional baritone far beyond his years. Before most teenagers even knew how a studio worked, Bill was recording multi-track demos in his living room with friend Don Fiducia. Together they formed the Romances, and before long Bill had 2 songs recorded by the Diamonds, an extraordinary achievement for someone barely out of high school. The Friends soon expanded into the Paramours, performing R&B-leaning sets around Orange County. Their appearances at small venues eventually led to a deal with Smash Records, where they released their earliest singles in 1961. These beginnings gave Bill invaluable experience, not only as a singer but as an arranger and producer, talents that would define his career. The next major turning point came when Bill met Bobby Hatfield, whose high-soaring tenor blended strikingly with Bill's deep tone. After performing together in a later lineup of the Paramours, the pair soon realized their chemistry worked best as a duo. Black Marines who frequented their shows began calling them Righteous Brothers, and in 1963 they adopted the name officially. Their first single as the Righteous Brothers, Little Latin Lupe Lu, became a regional hit and gave them their first taste of national attention. It wasn't long before a far bigger opportunity arrived. In 1964, after seeing him perform at the Cow Palace, producer Phil Spector signed the duo to his label Phil's Records. That same year they recorded You've Lost That Lovin Feelin, sung primarily by Medley, a record that became a global #1 hit, and eventually the most played radio song of the 20th century. Under Spector, they also recorded Just Once in My Life, Unchained Melody, sung by Hatfield, produced by Bill, and Ebb Tide. Touring increased dramatically, and the duo appeared on countless television shows, even opening for both the Beatles and the Rolling Stones at the height of the British invasion. By 1966, tensions with Spector led the duo to sign with Verve Records. Their first major single away from him, You're My Soul and Inspiration, became another #1 hit and proved they didn't need the wall of sound to thrive. The pace, however, was exhausting. Bill's voice suffered from constant strain, and by 1968 the duo split so he could pursue solo work and regain control of his life and schedule. Bill's early solo career saw him exploring new genres, and building on his identity outside the duo. He recorded tracks such as Brown Eyed Woman, Peace Brother Peace, and I Can't Make It Alone, performed at events like the festival in Brazil, and even sang Hey Jude at the 1969 Grammys. In the early 70s he signed to A&M Records, earning a Grammy nomination for Freedom and Fear on Michel Colombier's album Wings. He released albums including Bill Medley 100%, Soft and Soulful, A Song for You and Smile, forging a steady, respected solo presence. The Righteous Brothers reunited in 1974 and quickly returned to the charts with Rock and Roll Heaven. The comeback was strong, but in early 1976 Bill faced unimaginable personal tragedy when his ex-wife Karen Klass was violently attacked and later died. He stepped away from music for a time to care for their son and process the loss. By the late 70s, Bill began transitioning toward country and adult contemporary music, recording throughout the early 1980s. Bill's recordings during this era leaned strongly toward country and soft rock. Singles such as Statue of a Fool, Till Your Memory's Gone, and I Still Do earned him renewed chart success. His warm, resonant voice adapted naturally to the genre, giving his career new momentum. Throughout this time, he and Hatfield continued to reunite periodically, keeping the Righteous Brothers active on the touring circuit. Everything changed again in 1987, when Bill was asked to record a duet with Jennifer Warnes for a small dance-themed film, set in the 1960s. The film was Dirty Dancing, and the song, "I've Had the Time of My Life," became one of the most beloved soundtrack singles in cinema history. It reached #1, and the pair won an Academy Award, Golden Globe, and Grammy. The success introduced Bill to an entirely new generation. Following the Dirty Dancing revival, Unchained Melody surged back into the charts after being used in the 1990 film Ghost. This second resurgence solidified the Righteous Brothers' place in pop culture for yet another era. Bill and Hatfield toured extensively until 2003, the year they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Later that year, Hatfield died unexpectedly of a cocaine-induced heart attack, bringing the original duo to a close and marking one of the most painful chapters in Bill's life. In the 1990s and 2000s, Bill released a series of solo albums: Blue-Eyed Singer, Going Home, Christmas Memories, Almost Home, Your Heart to Mine, and Damn Near Righteous, exploring blues, pop, and reflective singer-songwriter material. He also contributed to film soundtracks including Major League, The Last Boy Scout, and the sitcom Just the Ten of Us. His collaborations during this period included work with Giorgio Moroder, and guest features alongside Brian Wilson and Phil Everly. Bill performed regularly in Branson, Missouri, and began touring with his daughter McKenna, whose own musical career blossomed beside him. In 2014 he published his memoir, The Time of My Life, detailing the highs and lows of his journey. In 2016, more than a decade after Hatfield's passing, Bill revived the Righteous Brothers for live performances with singer Bucky Heard, chosen for his ability to honor Hatfield's legacy with dignity rather than imitation. The show became a popular touring production, bringing the classic songs to longtime fans and new audiences. On a personal note, Bill's private life has seen deep love and profound loss. He met his first wife, Karen O'Grady, in church, and they married as his music career was taking off, with their son Darren born in 1965. The marriage ended in divorce when Darren was about 5. Medley later married Susie Robertson in 1970, and then Janice Gorham, with both marriages ending quickly in annulment. He was also known to have been a close friend of Elvis Presley, often spending time with Elvis in the 1960s and 1970s. In January 1976, tragedy struck when his first wife, Karen Klass, was violently attacked in her home and later died from her injuries. Bill hired private investigators and lived for decades without knowing who was responsible. In 2017, using advances in familial DNA, authorities announced that the perpetrator had been identified as Kenneth Troyer, who had been killed in a police shootout in 1982. In 1986, Bill married Paula Vasu, and they had a daughter, McKenna, who would later become his singing partner on stage. Paula passed away in 2020 after living with Parkinson's disease. That same year, Bill underwent surgery to remove a cancerous tumor from his throat, which was successful, recovering and thereafter returning to performing. In 2025, he released Straight from the Heart, his first new album in over 10 years, featuring country duets and guest appearances from artists like Vince Gill and Michael McDonald. That same year, he made his debut at the Grand Ole Opry, marking another milestone in a career spanning more than 60 years. Now in his 80s, Bill still performs select shows, and continues recording and reflecting on his extraordinary journey. And there you have it. From a lifetime of music, heart, and resilience, Bill Medley's voice and spirit continue to be cherished by fans across the world, now and always. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on your favorite artists, just like this. Take care and bye for now.